Hey guys, Ultra Maximus here, and I'm back with another top 10 list. This kind of got sparked by another YouTuber that goes by Bebop1987, and she does a lot of movie reviews, mostly, I think, and she sent me a video that was her top 10 male characters of all time. And I liked it. I thought it was a good idea. I've recently done a list of top 10 genre films. I did westerns and action, Disney films, Christmas films, all kinds of stuff. And then I also did a top 10 film list from those. So I thought this was kind of an interesting idea, and I kind of took it as a challenge and thought, well, what would be my top 10 male characters? And it was kind of easy. I would say I did a top 10 female as well, and I'll do a video on that. And that one was harder. The female top 10 list was a lot harder than the top 10 male list. And I chose these characters. One, they're awesome characters. They are great film characters. The second reason that I chose them was primarily the performance of the actor. So without the actor putting into these characters, those characters wouldn't exist. And they would not have been the memorable scene stealers and just outstanding characters that they were in the films that they were in. So as much as a part as I really like the character, I think more so it's the actor that portrays the character that makes the character great. So without further ado, here is my top 10 male film characters. At number 10, I've got William Dafoe as the Green Goblin / Norman Osborn in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man film. William Dafoe is a fantastic actor. He just does such a great job in his films. I love his characters. Another great character he does is in the Boondock Saints, and just an all-around great character. And I really loved his portrayal as Norman Osborn in the Spider-Man film because he was crazy. He was nuts. He was arguing with himself. The scene with the mirror, where he's arguing with the mirror, is one of the best scenes a villain has in film history, I think, personally. And the other thing I really love about this character, he does such a great job portraying this villain that when he does put on the Green Goblin mask, which is a metallic mask, his performance comes through that emotionless, non-moving mask. And that is damn impressive. Number 9, I have Frank Langella, or Langella, however you want to pronounce it, as Skeletor from the Masters of the Universe. And this is not a great film. It's a cheesy film. If you're a Masters of the Universe fan, a He-Man fan, you're going to like this film. I went to the theater as a kid to see this. But looking back at it, I find it very interesting that all of the villains were so much better than all of the heroes in the movie. And Frank, he does a fantastic job as Skeletor. He's evil, he's totally into the character, and he's just utterly pissed at He-Man. It's just so great when that first scene when he walks in and Evelyn's like, finally, after all these years, Grayskull is ours. He's like, no, mine. You know, he just like, it's so amazing. And he just does a great job. He said in many interviews this was one of his favorite roles, and it truly does show on film. At number 8, I have Raul Julia as Gomez Addams, another older film, but it's so fantastic. And Raul Julia passed away far too early, and we only got to see him in 2 films as Gomez. And it was such a departure for him as an actor from some of the other things he's done to play this character. And he took what was kind of an eccentric, odd, weird character from the 60s television show, and he turned him into a psychopath, just an insane, demented guy, but at the same time is one of the most loving and adoring fathers and husbands in film history. He obviously had fun with the character. I think the second film is probably better than the first film, but his performance in both of them has so much energy, so much pizzazz. He took the character in a different direction, made it his own, and made it fantastic. My number 7 pick is David the Android from Prometheus, played by Michael Fassbender, who is a great actor. I loved him in X-Men First Class as Magneto, the young incarnation of Magneto. And in Prometheus, he plays a completely different character, and it really shows off his acting abilities going from Magneto, who was a great character on film, to David. And what I love about the David character is he is utterly and completely non-human. He has this fake smile, this fake attitude about him. It feels artificial. It comes across at points where somebody's like, well, he's pretty evil. He's not. He's following orders. He's inhuman. He has no morality. He has no emotion. He simply follows orders and has this artificial politeness about him. And it really comes out in his performance. And there's a great subplot where the humans are trying to find their creators, these aliens. And there's this kind of subtext, subfeel vibe going on where the android was, well, what would you ask your makers? He's kind of talking to the humans, and they're like, well, you wouldn't understand, you're just a robot. And he's like, why did you build me? And they were like, because we could. What if that's what they tell you? I mean, he has this totally non-human vibe, and it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Probably one of the best performances I've seen out of the guy. I can't wait to see more stuff in the future. At number 6, I have Christopher Plummer in the role of General Chang from Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country. This character is phenomenal. Chris Plummer is a brilliant actor. He's been in tons of films over his career and theater, and he's just all around really great. And in this role, he brings this bravada and this Klingon out. This is unlike any other Klingon character that we've really seen before. And he is intelligent. He is a poet. He's a warrior. He's a Klingon. He's afraid of what the future is going to hold. And he just comes around, and he's so devious. He's undermining the Chancellor's plans for the future. He's politely attending dinner with Kirk and poking him with a stick, basically trying to get the warrior out of him, and going all over the board with the character. And I just absolutely love it. And when he finally does come around in the end, he's part of this big conspiracy. When he arrests McCoy and Kirk and puts them on trial, and then at the end he's attacking the Enterprise when he comes out with his plan, and he's trying to destroy the Enterprise. He's on the ship, and just so boisterous and crazy, and absolutely love him. And crazy is not a good term, because he's not at all. He's very much in the right mindset. He's very much determined. He knows what he's doing. He thinks he's saving the future of the Klingon Empire, and he's going full steam. It's just an amazing performance, an amazing character, and that's why he's in this list. Rounding into the top 5, I've got Benedict Cumberbatch from the BBC film series Sherlock. One of my favorite Sherlock Holmes takes ever. It's modern, it's well written, the cinematography in these films are fantastic. We get 3 films a season. Completely different take on Sherlock, but at the same token, it is so devoted to the original stories. I'm a big fan of the Sherlock Holmes stories. It's classical literature. And his take on him being an addict and him being kind of a psychopath, he's just involved in the character, and he brings it out. He seems maniacal, he seems crazy, but he's so on point with things, and he's so quick and fidgety and jumpy and everything you would think an eccentric genius addict would be. Cumberbatch pulls out in the character, and it's just fantastic. He delivers the lines, he delivers the performance. He is the Sherlock Holmes of today, absolutely. And just fuck that Robert Downey Jr. movie series. I don't like it. Absolutely double fuck that Elementary series that's on with Lucy Liu. That is just spitting on Doyle's grave. It's just, it's terrible, terrible, terrible. This is what you want out of Sherlock Holmes, and Cumberbatch absolutely employs it. I can't wait to see him as Smaug. I can't wait to see him in the new Star Trek film. So, yeah, definitely a great way to come into the top 5. All right, at number 4, I've got Johnny Depp in his character of Captain Jack Sparrow from the Disney films Pirates of the Caribbean. Absolutely rebuilt this guy's career, Captain Jack Sparrow. I mean, he's always been a good actor, but this totally put him on the map as a superstar with this character. He's crazy, he's funny, he's an anti-hero. He's not really that good of a guy. He's not. He's a pirate. But he has certain kinds of morals, a certain ethic, a certain honor, and a certain code that he lives by. And the character's great. I mean, he loosely based some of the antics off of Keith Richards, who makes an appearance in one of the films. And he just absolutely wonderful. You can't ask anything more out of an actor to pull such a wonderfully fun, crazy, adventurous, maniacal character onto the screen. His lines are funny. His action sequences are great. There's just nothing more I can say about this character. It's all round fun. Number 3, I've got Daniel Craig as none other than James Bond. Bond is probably the most iconic male character in cinema history. It's been around for 50 years, half as long, or half the length that cinema has been out. It just, that's the epitome of a male character. He's smooth, he's suave, he kicks ass, he's the ultimate ladies' man, and Daniel Craig nails it for me, no pun intended, for James Bond. And I like this incarnation of the character because he's a lot harder, he's much less smooth than, say, Sean Connery or Pierce Brosnan. He's more like the original novels. And if you read the original novels, like Thunderball and Casino Royale and some of the original works, Bond was not the Sean Connery character. The Sean Connery image, the Pierce Brosnan style, those guys, that version of Bond was designed for film. In the books, he had an Aston Martin, but it was a piece of crap. He said, a car should always be a getaway vehicle. The only things that should work have a strong motor and a strong transmission. The ragtop didn't even work on the Aston Martin he had in the original novels. And he didn't have the gadgets. It was him. It was his body. He pushed it further and further. And that's what this character does. And the opening sequence in the first Craig film, Casino Royale, I mean, he's running down this Nigerian or wherever the guy was from, and just he slam into walls, and he just missed, and he gets his ass kicked over and over and over in these films, and he keeps going. He has the willpower to push his body beyond limits, and that is what makes a damn cool character in film. Bond. James Bond. Now, my number 2 spot is going to go to Jackie Earle Haley's version of Rorschach from The Watchmen. This character is great. It's like, what if Batman had gone insane? And that's where Rorschach is. If you've never seen The Watchmen or read the comic, it's obviously based off a comic book. It's set in an alternate 1980s where superheroes do exist. And Rorschach, his character, he's nuts. He's come from this broken family where his mother was a prostitute, and the city is just utter shit. And he finds this cloth that it's constantly moving, constantly changing, kind of like a Rorschach ink blot test. So he makes a mask out of it, and going through all this psychology issues over the years, he adopts the Rorschach, and he's just a hard ass with a gun. He beats down criminals. He's taking the Batman character one step forward into the darkness, and he is just great. I love this character. Jackie does a great job. Of course, he's known for being in the Bad News Bears as a child, and he is also Freddy Krueger in the new Nightmare films. But this is it, man. He brought this character to life. This character absolutely steals the film. In the scene where they're in the prison and he's going after Big Time, and all the villains are coming after him and everything, and he just beats the tar out of them, kills them all actually. And there's a scene where somebody's going to shank him, and he takes fryer grease, dumps it on this guy's face, gets into a fight with these prisoners, and he turns around and just, his mind's about to snap, spit flying out of his mouth, and he's like, "You don't get it. You don't get it. I'm not locked in here with all of you. You're all trapped. You're all locked in here with me." And it's just, that makes the character just so kick ass. So Rorschach, Haley's performance, phenomenal. Number 2, without a doubt. And the number 1 spot has got to go to the Dark Knight's Joker, portrayed by Heath Ledger. Now, Jack Nicholson's Joker was fantastic, over the top fun in Tim Burton's Batman, 1989. But this is legendary. I don't know if it's a combination of Chris Nolan's direction, Heath Ledger's performance, or it's just all Heath. But this, by far, was the man's greatest performance ever. It's a shame that we lost him so early in life. I would love to have seen what else this guy could have done on film. I really didn't think much of him at all until this performance. And he took this character to dark, horrible places no one has ever done on film. The whole bits of, "Do you want to know how I got these scars?" And just that lip smacking he did, and the way he addressed the gangsters in their meeting, that entire scene was probably my favorite. And the way he interacted and talked, and the return lines, you can't get any better. This is absolutely the pinnacle of what a film character could be. And he has set the bar so high on the Joker character, and not just the Joker character, but I think in villains in general. It just amazes me how wonderfully terrifying this character was on screen. And it was so good. I mean, it really, really hurt, I think, The Dark Knight Rises, because this, in large part due to Ledger's performance, was Chris Nolan's swan song. Nothing is going to beat that film for him. And absolutely no one, at least in the next 20 years, is going to be able to compete with that Joker character. It is brilliant. That's all I can say about it. So thanks for watching, guys. Who do you think the top 10 male characters are? Who are yours? Leave comments, create a video. Let's, get a video discussion going on with this. So take a look at my other videos and look for more videos in the future. Thanks for watching.